Hello and welcome to the topic Secondary Amenorrhea in the module Endocrinology. By the end of this topic, you should be able to define secondary amenorrhea, explain the pathophysiology of the disease, outline the causes of secondary amenorrhea, outline the classification of secondary amenorrhea, describe the clinical manifestation of secondary amenorrhea, outline the investigations done for secondary amenorrhea, discuss the principles of management, and discuss the complications and prognosis of secondary amenorrhea. Let's get started. Secondary amenorrhea is defined as a complete absence or cessation of menstrual bleeding for more than 6 months in women who the normal menstruation has been established. In Greek terms, A means negative or absent, men means month, rhoia means flow. Hence, amenorrhea literally means absence of monthly flow. Let's discuss the physiology of menstruation. Before puberty, pituitary gonadotrophins is usually not adequate enough to stimulate the ovarian follicles for effective steroidogenesis. Hence, the estrogen levels are not sufficient enough to cause bleeding from the endometrium. During pregnancy, large amount of estrogen and chorionic gonadotrophins secreted from the trophoblast suppress the pituitary gonadotrophins. This causes no maturation of the ovarian follicles that can occur. During lactation, there is high levels of prolactin. Prolactin inhibits ovarian response to FSH. There's no follicular growth occurring in the hypoestrogenic state, hence no menstruation. If the patient does not breastfeed her baby, the menstruation returns by 6th week. After menopause, there are no more responsive follicles in the ovaries for gonadotropins to act on. So the cessation of estrogen production from the ovaries with elevation of pituitary gonadotropins occur. There are 5 factors that can affect menstruation. The factors include hypothalamic pituitary, ovarian, thyroid factors, and iatrogenic. Now let's talk about hypothalamic factors. Hypogonadotropic hypogonadism is caused by hyperprolactinemia due to altered dopamine inhibition. Release of GnRH is inhibited and causes low levels of estrogen and LH, but the FSH level may be normal. Next is pituitary factors, such as pituitary adenoma, Cushing's disease, acromegaly, Sheehan syndrome, which inhibit ovarian steroidogenesis directly or inhibits pituitary gonadotrophin release. Ovarian factors such as polycystic ovarian syndrome has tonically elevated LH level, which causes increased in androgen production from the thicker cells and stroma of the ovaries. The increased unbound estrogen and androgens causes the pituitary gland to be more sensitive to GnRH. LH production is increased and production of FSH is reduced due to inhibin. This disrupts the adrenal function. Raised TSH and hyperprolactinemia by action of TRH on galactophore cells in pituitary may cause secondary amenorrhea. Now let's take a look at iatrogenic causes. Iatrogenic causes such as contraceptive pills, psychotropic drugs, and antihypertensives may affect the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis. Contraceptive pills may cause suppression of GnRH release. Psychotropic phenothiazine derivatives drugs are dopamine receptor blocking agents which may raise the prolactin levels. Antihypertensive drugs and dopamine antagonists could also raise the prolactin levels. Let's look at the causes of secondary amenorrhea. Pregnancy is the most common cause of secondary amenorrhea. Hence, pregnancy tests should be done first to exclude pregnancy. Hypothalamic problems such as craniopharyngioma, glioma, head injury, cranial irradiation, and TB are the causes of secondary amenorrhea. Next, pituitary causes include hyperprolactinemia, hypopituitarism, and Sheehan syndrome. Ovarian factors such as PCOS, premature ovarian failure, or for patients less than 40 years old, and uterine causes such as Asherman syndrome, as well as cervical stenosis may be the important cause of secondary amenorrhea. Lastly, secondary amenorrhea can also be due to some systemic causes such as weight loss, excessive exercise, chronic illness, and psychological illness. There are a few investigations that physicians should do to identify causes of secondary amenorrhea. These include urine pregnancy tests, which is a must to exclude pregnancy. PCOS should be considered as the cause of patients having negative UPT, hirsutism, acne, and irregular menses. Physicians should consider pelvic ultrasound to look for polycystic ovaries among these patients. TSH levels should be measured, and a result of hyper or hypothyroidism may contribute to menstrual dysfunction. High serum prolactin may indicate the patient to have prolactinoma. If all above are normal, a progestin challenge test should be done. Withdrawal bleed after the test is considered as normal. However, no withdrawal bleed may indicate insufficient endogenous estrogen for growth of the endometrium, damaged endometrium, or obstructed menstrual blood. Estrogen progestin challenge can be used as a further test. Negative progestin challenge with a positive estrogen progestin challenge indicates hypogonadism. FSH levels and estradiol should be checked as well. A transvaginal ultrasound can be done to look for hematometra, which means trapped menstrual blood. A hysteroscopy can be done to exclude Asherman's syndrome. Specific targeted management based on diagnosis, symptomatic treatment, and reassurance is vital. When there is no abnormality detected, reassurance is the management. If anxiety and stress is the cause of secondary amenorrhea, reassurance and psychotherapy must be provided. Specific treatment depends on the underlying cause. Weight loss, metformin for insulin resistance, cyclical control with COCP, or progestin-containing birth control methods are suggested treatment for PCOS. Hypothyroidism may need thyroxine replacement, whereas hyperthyroidism requires thioamides, ablation, or surgery. Bromocriptine, cabergoline, or excision of prolactinoma are the treatment for hyperprolactinemia. Lifestyle changes and hormone replacement can be used to treat ovarian failure and hypothalamic pituitary dysfunction. Patients with Asherman's syndrome may need hysteroscopy, lysis of adhesions. Cervical dilation is needed to treat cervical stenosis. In summary, secondary amenorrhea is defined as complete absence or cessation of menstrual bleeding for more than 6 months in women with normal menstruation who has been established. Disturbances in the hypothalamic pituitary ovarian axis, structural and physiological abnormalities are the pathophysiology of the secondary amenorrhea. Hypothalamic, pituitary, ovarian, uterine, and environmental causes can contribute to secondary amenorrhea. The clinical manifestation of secondary amenorrhea is cessation of menstrual bleeding. Investigations are based on clinical suspicion. Serum prolactin, serum TSH, X-ray sella turcica are mandatory. Specific targeted management is based on diagnosis, symptomatic treatment, and reassurance is vital. We have come to the end of this topic. Thank you.